Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather in the wake of a tragic event, an Air India Flight 171 crash in Ahmedabad, which serves as a stark reminder. It is not just a singular incident, it is a warning, one that we must heed. Let us reflect deeply, not on the tragedy itself, but on the lessons it offers and the shifts in perspective it demands from us. Number one, learn from the tragedy itself, but on the lessons it… In today's world, we often find ourselves surrounded by advanced systems and technologies designed to make our lives easier, more efficient, and seemingly under control. From the airplanes we fly in to the smartphones in our pockets, everything operates on complex systems of interdependent parts. We have engineered machines, infrastructures and processes that promise reliability and safety. We've built structures and environments that allow us to operate with a sense of control over our surroundings, and in many ways this has led us to believe that we can dominate every aspect of our existence. We calculate risks, analyze data, and deploy technologies that make us feel invincible. The systems we've created are founded on meticulous planning, precision, and human ingenuity. For example, modern aviation is one of the safest modes of travel due to the intricate designs of aircraft, stringent safety regulations, and highly trained personnel. These advancements lead us to trust that once we board a flight, everything will go smoothly. It becomes easy to fall into the belief that because everything is so meticulously planned, control is something we inherently possess. However, no matter how much we engineer or how carefully we plan, there are always unpredictable elements at play. Nature, in all its vastness and unpredictability, does not submit to our calculations. The crash of Air India Flight 171 serves as a stark reminder that no amount of engineering, no matter how sophisticated, can offer us absolute control. The forces of nature, weather, mechanical failure, or even human error can intervene in ways that are beyond our comprehension. These events are beyond the scope of any system we have created, reminding us of our vulnerability. This vulnerability is not something we like to acknowledge. Our confidence in technology often blinds us to the reality that control is an illusion. We like to believe that with enough knowledge and preparation, we can anticipate and manage every possible outcome. Yet, when faced with the unpredictability of life, we are reminded that the future cannot always be predicted or managed. Nature operates according to laws and forces that are often beyond our understanding, and our human attempts to impose control cannot always prevail. The crash also forces us to confront the limits of our mastery over the world. While we have made extraordinary advancements in various fields, including medicine, engineering and communications, we are still not immune to the forces of fate or chance. This is a humbling realization. It's a reminder that despite all our advancements, we are still part of a much larger, uncontrollable system. And sometimes, no matter how hard we try, we are subject to events that cannot be avoided. This concept of control also extends to our personal lives. We often believe we can control every aspect of our daily routines, our relationships, and even our futures. However, unexpected challenges and events can disrupt even the best-laid plans. Just as a plane can encounter unforeseen turbulence, our lives can be shaken by circumstances beyond our control. The sooner we accept this reality, the more we can learn to adapt and respond with resilience rather than resisting or fighting the inevitable. Ultimately, the tragedy of Air India Flight 171 highlights the fact that our human condition is one of inherent uncertainty. We may never have complete control over the events that unfold in our lives, but by acknowledging this, we can begin to live more mindfully, with a sense of humility and acceptance. It's not about giving up on our desire for progress or safety, but about recognizing the limits of what we can control. In doing so, we may discover a deeper sense of peace, knowing that while we may not control the forces around us, we can control how we respond to them. Every person aboard Air India Flight 171 had a life full of aspirations, dreams, and plans for the future. Some were likely looking forward to reuniting with loved ones. Others had important meetings or milestones to achieve. The people on that flight were not just passengers. They were individuals with their own stories, desires, and ambitions. Each life that was lost represents a unique journey, abruptly interrupted by a tragic event. It is easy for us to forget in the rush of our daily lives that life is inherently fragile, and we often take for granted the time we have and the people we share it with. This fragility of life is something we often overlook as we get caught up in our routines, planning for tomorrow or focusing on the bigger picture. We think that time will always be on our side, that we can always adjust our path, that we have control over our destiny, but in a single instant, everything can change. This tragedy is a reminder that the stability we often take for granted is not guaranteed. Just as the passengers aboard the flight thought they had more time, the unexpected reminded them that life can shift without warning. The crash forces us to face the reality that life is temporary, that no matter how much we plan, how hard we work, or how much we strive for security, we can never truly predict or control what will happen next. We live in a world that is full of uncertainties, and yet we tend to focus on what we want to happen instead of acknowledging that life by its very nature can change at any moment. This awareness is uncomfortable for most of us, as we naturally resist the idea that we are not invincible or that things can go wrong despite our best efforts. Recognizing the fragility of life should lead us to a place of stillness and reflection. In the face of tragedy, we are often forced to pause and reevaluate our priorities. The sudden loss of life reminds us that time is precious and that we should not take any moment for granted. Each breath we take is a gift. Each day is an opportunity, and yet we often go through life as though it will never end. In moments like these, we must ask ourselves if we are living with intention, if we are fully present in the lives we are leading, or if we are simply going through the motions. Understanding the fragility of life can also inspire us to be more compassionate and connected with others. If we truly grasp that everyone we meet is living with their own set of challenges, dreams and uncertainties, it may lead to a deeper empathy and understanding. The connections we make, whether with family, friends or even strangers, become far more meaningful when we realize how quickly things can change. Our relationships are not just routines, but reflections of the time we share, and we should treat them as such. In embracing this awareness of life's fragility, we may also come to a deeper understanding of the importance of living in the present. Too often, we are either trapped in the past or obsessing over the future, but life happens in the now. By living consciously, we can ensure that we are making the most of the time we have, prioritizing what truly matters and finding joy in the everyday moments. This awareness encourages us to slow down, appreciate the present and cherish what is before us, for we may not always have tomorrow. Ultimately, the crash of Flight 171 reminds us that life is a gift that we should not squander. While we cannot control the future, we can control how we live each moment. By accepting the uncertainty and impermanence of life, we can live more fully, with greater presence and appreciation. The fragility of life is not something to fear, but rather something to honor, for it is this awareness that can lead us to a more meaningful, intentional existence. Flying has become so commonplace in today's world that many of us take it for granted. Air travel, once considered a marvel of engineering, has become just another part of our routine. Whether for business, leisure or family matters, flying is often viewed as a mundane, predictable experience. Most of us step onto an airplane, fasten our seatbelts and settle into our seats without giving a second thought to the complex systems and processes that make it all possible. The engines, the technology, the pilots, everything seems to run like clockwork. However, this very routine nature of air travel can lead us to overlook the immense complexity and risk involved in getting a plane off the ground and safely to its destination. Airplanes are marvels of human ingenuity, designed to defy gravity and withstand forces that few other machines can handle. The intricate balance of engineering, logistics and human expertise that allows an aircraft to fly is nothing short of extraordinary. And yet, it is easy to forget that beneath this seemingly flawless system lies the potential for things to go wrong. The tragedy of Flight 171 serves as a sobering reminder of this. While we trust in the technology and the systems in place, we must never allow ourselves to become complacent. The very systems that ensure our safety must be constantly maintained, updated and rigorously tested. Complacency, whether in aviation or in any field, breeds the very conditions for disaster. In aviation, every detail matters. From pre-fleet checks to air traffic control coordination, every aspect of the journey is carefully planned and executed. Pilots undergo extensive training to manage various contingencies. An aircraft undergo regular maintenance to ensure they remain in optimal condition. However, when these procedures become routine, they can sometimes lose the level of attention they deserve. Small lapses in focus, a slight miscalculation or a failure to follow protocol can have catastrophic consequences. This is why complacency, even in the smallest of actions, can lead to tragedy. It's the failure to continuously assess, to remain vigilant, that allows for errors to slip through the cracks. Complacency in life extends beyond aviation. It seeps into every aspect of our existence, particularly when things are going well. When we feel safe, secure and comfortable, it's easy to stop being proactive. We may neglect our health, take our relationships for granted or become lax in our responsibilities. When everything is running smoothly, it's tempting to assume that things will always stay that way. But life, much like air travel, is unpredictable. Just as a plane can experience unexpected turbulence, so too can our lives be disrupted by events we did not foresee. The key to avoiding such disruptions is to avoid complacency, to remain active in managing our circumstances and to always be prepared for the unexpected. Complacency can also manifest in our approach to safety. When we're used to things going well, we begin to lower our guard. We stop checking the small things that matter. We become confident that nothing will go wrong, and as a result, we fail to take the precautions necessary to prevent disasters. In the case of aviation, this could be something as simple as overlooking a routine inspection or failing to heed a weather warning. In our personal lives, it could be neglecting our physical or mental health, taking unnecessary risks or becoming inattentive to the needs of those around us. In both cases, complacency sets the stage for potential harm, often in ways that could have been avoided. The tragedy of Flight 171 serves as a wake-up call to all of us. It forces us to confront the dangers of taking safety and routine for granted. We must recognize that routine does not equal invulnerability. Just because something has always worked in the past does not mean it will continue to do so in the future. This is why we must remain vigilant, constantly reassessing and recalibrating our approach to safety in every area of our lives. Whether we are flying, driving, managing a business or maintaining personal relationships, we must stay alert and active in our efforts to ensure that things remain safe and secure. In conclusion, complacency is a silent, dangerous force that erodes the foundation of safety and reliability. It convinces us that we can relax, that we don't need to pay attention to the details and that things will take care of themselves. But the tragedy of Flight 171 reminds us that this kind of thinking can be deadly. Whether in aviation or in any other aspect of life, we must shed our complacency and adopt a mindset of constant vigilance. We must always be prepared, always be aware, and always be willing to take the necessary steps to ensure that we stay safe. This is the only way to avoid the tragic consequences that complacency can bring. The crash of Air India Flight 171 is a tragic reminder of the unseen forces that can influence our lives in ways we often fail to acknowledge. Just as the plane was subject to unpredictable factors such as weather, mechanical failures, and the possibility of human error, our daily lives are also influenced by invisible forces that we cannot control or fully comprehend. These forces can manifest in various forms, from external circumstances like the economy or global events, to internal factors such as our health or state of mind. Despite all the planning and precautions we may take, life has a way of throwing challenges our way that we simply cannot anticipate. We often like to think that we can control every aspect of our lives. We make plans, set goals and work towards achieving them, believing that with enough effort we can ensure a certain outcome. However, life is far more complex than we like to admit. Even with the best plans in place, things can still go wrong. The unexpected always lurks just beyond the horizon, and no matter how prepared we are never fully in control. This is the essence of the unseen forces at play. They remind us that there are aspects of existence that we cannot plan for, no matter how much we strive for control. For example, while the airline industry works tirelessly to ensure the safety of its passengers, the unforeseen can still happen. Weather patterns can change in an instant, mechanical issues can arise without warning, and human errors, even in highly trained professionals, are always a possibility. These are the invisible forces that can have a profound impact on the outcome of any situation, and they serve as a reminder of our vulnerability. No matter how much we prepare, there are always factors beyond our influence, which is why we must learn to live with the understanding that not everything is within our grasp. This realization should not lead to fear or resignation, but rather to a deeper appreciation of the unknown. Just as the flight was at the mercy of external forces, so too are we at the mercy of life's unpredictable nature. The key is not to resist this reality, but to acknowledge it and adapt accordingly. When we accept that we cannot control every aspect of our lives, we open ourselves to the possibility of greater peace and resilience. Instead of constantly fighting against the flow of events, we learn to navigate them with wisdom and grace. The unseen forces that affect us may not always be negative. They can also include the opportunities that arise unexpectedly, the people we meet by chance, or the moments of serendipity that change the course of our lives. Just as the crash of a plane may be caused by a combination of negative forces, our successes and breakthroughs are often shaped by invisible, unpredictable factors. These forces are not inherently bad or good, they are simply part of the natural flow of life. Our job is to learn how to harness them rather than resist them. One of the most important aspects of acknowledging these unseen forces is learning how to be adaptable. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we become more flexible in how we approach challenges. Rather than feeling defeated by the unexpected, we can shift our mindset and use it as an opportunity for growth. Whether it's dealing with an unforeseen setback at work, a health crisis, or a personal loss, embracing the unpredictability of life allows us to respond with greater resilience and creativity. In the end, the unseen forces that shape our lives are beyond our control, but they are not something to fear. They are simply reminders of our place within a larger system, where many things are out of our hands. By honoring these forces, we can learn to live more harmoniously with the world around us, accepting that some things are simply not meant to be controlled. Just as we trust the systems that allow airplanes to fly, we must also trust the systems that govern our lives, even if we cannot always see or understand them. In doing so, we find peace in the midst of uncertainty and strength in the face of the unknown. In the fast-paced nature of modern life, it is easy to get swept away by the demands of daily routines. From waking up early to manage work or school tasks, to handling personal commitments and social obligations, we are often caught in a cycle that leaves little time for reflection. Our days become a blur of actions and decisions, many of which are carried out on autopilot. We go from one task to the next, rarely stopping to consider the impact of our actions or to reflect on the choices we are making. This constant rush becomes so ingrained that we forget to fully engage with the present moment. And as a result, the small details that often matter the most can slip by unnoticed. The crash of Air India Flight 171 is a tragic event that forces us to confront this reality. In the midst of our busy lives, we may overlook the significance of the smaller, seemingly mundane actions that we take. It's not just about big decisions or life-changing moments. Sometimes it's the routine acts that can make all the difference. The importance of being aware of what we are doing, thinking and feeling cannot be overstated. Awareness is not something passive. It requires active engagement. It is about being present and paying attention to every detail of our lives, regardless of how insignificant it may seem in the moment. Only then can we make informed choices that safeguard our well-being, relationships and professional success. In every aspect of life, from personal relationships to work, it is the small details that often have the most profound impact. At work, a lack of attention to detail can lead to mistakes that snowball into larger issues. In personal relationships, failing to notice the needs of others or ignoring the subtle changes in behavior can create misunderstandings or distance. Awareness allows us to recognize these small but crucial elements before they become problems. It's about noticing what is happening in our environment, within ourselves and in the people around us. When we pay attention to these things, we not only improve our own lives, but we also contribute to a more harmonious and productive environment for everyone involved. The practice of awareness requires conscious effort. It is not something that can be achieved passively, as it demands a deliberate shift in how we approach our lives. This means slowing down and taking the time to truly observe what is going on in our surroundings. It is about making the effort to stop, look and listen both to others and to ourselves. This is especially true in high-stakes environments, where even the smallest oversight can have serious consequences. Whether we are driving a car, conducting a business meeting or simply interacting with a friend, our ability to be fully present and aware determines the quality of our actions and the outcomes we experience. Awareness also involves acknowledging our own biases and assumptions. Often we act based on preconceived notions or past experiences which can cloud our judgment. By practicing awareness, we learn to question our automatic reactions and approach situations with a more open mind. This kind of mindfulness allows us to make decisions that are more grounded in the present moment, rather than influenced by old patterns of thinking. In doing so, we can ensure that our actions are aligned with our values and that we are not merely going through the motions without fully understanding the impact of what we are doing. The importance of awareness extends to the safety and well-being of those around us. In professional environments, especially in industries like aviation, construction and healthcare, safety is paramount. When people become complacent or fail to remain attentive, mistakes happen. These mistakes often stem from a lack of awareness, whether it's overlooking a safety protocol, missing a critical piece of information, or failing to notice a potential hazard. Being aware of the environment around us and the people within it allows us to catch potential problems before they escalate. This is not only vital for preventing accidents, but it is also essential for fostering a culture of responsibility and care. Ultimately, awareness is a choice. It requires us to make a commitment to ourselves and to those around us. It means recognizing that life is not just about achieving goals or ticking off tasks, but about fully engaging with each moment. Only when we become aware of the details, the subtle nuances and the present moment, can we truly begin to live with purpose and intention. The crash of Air India Flight 171 should serve as a powerful reminder that awareness is not just a passive concept, but an active practice that can mean the difference between safety and disaster, success and failure, peace and turmoil. The time to cultivate this awareness is now, in every action, thought and decision we make. When a tragedy like the crash of Air India Flight 171 occurs, it brings to light the intricate and often unseen web of systems that we rely on every day. Air travel, which has become an almost routine activity for many, is one of the most complex systems in existence. From the moment a flight is scheduled to take off until it safely reaches its destination, numerous moving parts come together to ensure that everything operates smoothly. These parts are not limited to the obvious components such as the aircraft and the pilots, but extend to air traffic controllers, maintenance crews, and even the broader infrastructure that supports aviation. Each of these components, while seemingly isolated, plays a critical role in the success of a flight. Pilots must be trained to handle everything from routine tasks to emergency situations. Air traffic controllers are responsible for ensuring that flights maintain safe distances from one another and navigate through controlled airspace without conflict. Engineers and maintenance personnel ensure that the airplane itself is in optimal condition, performing regular checks to prevent malfunctions. The ground staff prepares the aircraft, loading baggage, ensuring fueling is correct, and checking for any mechanical issues. When one part of this system falters, the consequences can ripple across the entire operation, leading to potentially catastrophic outcomes. The complexity of these systems is often hidden in plain sight. Many passengers board flights without considering the extensive processes involved in getting them from one place to another. We tend to take the safety and smooth functioning of the system for granted, assuming that everything will work as it always has. However, this overconfidence can cloud our judgment and prevent us from fully appreciating the effort and coordination required to maintain the delicate balance of an aviation system. The crash of Flight 171 serves as a reminder that such a complex network, while designed to be robust and fail-safe, is still susceptible to human error, mechanical failure, or unforeseen circumstances. The complexity of systems extends beyond aviation and is present in virtually every aspect of modern life, whether it's the healthcare system, education, or the logistics that power the supply chain. Each of these systems involves multiple layers of coordination and interdependence. In any of these systems, a failure in one component can have far-reaching consequences. This interconnectedness means that we are all in some way affected by the failures of the systems we rely on. While many of these systems are designed with safety measures and redundancies in place to mitigate risks, they are still vulnerable to breakdowns, whether through unforeseen errors, outdated protocols, or simple human mistakes. Recognizing the complexity of these systems is crucial, as it calls for a more profound sense of responsibility from all those who play a part in these intricate operations. Every individual involved, from the flight crew to the engineers who service the planes, must take their responsibilities seriously and be vigilant at all times. Each action, no matter how small it may seem, can have significant consequences. In an aviation system, one missed check, one lapse in judgment, or a single miscommunication can lead to disaster. This awareness should not only apply to those directly involved in aviation, but to all industries, where human errors can easily ripple across interconnected systems. Moreover, we must also acknowledge that no system is infallible. The more complex a system becomes, the greater the potential for something to go wrong. Even the most advanced technology, the most experienced professionals, and the most carefully laid out procedures cannot guarantee perfection. This is a hard truth we must accept. The crash of Flight 171 should not cause us to question the entire aviation system, but rather it should encourage us to view it with greater humility. The very complexity that makes the system so efficient also makes it susceptible to failure. We should be prepared for the possibility of things going wrong, and we must continually assess. Ultimately, the tragedy reminds us that the systems we rely on are vulnerable. This is not to say that we should live in fear or doubt the efficacy of these systems, but it is a call for greater mindfulness and continuous improvement. Understanding the complexity of the systems we depend on, acknowledging the human and mechanical limitations, and being prepared for the unexpected are all essential steps in reducing the risk of failure. In the case of aviation, as in many other industries, we must embrace a mindset of constant vigilance, improvement and adaptability, knowing that even the most well-oiled systems can falter when the balance is disrupted. In any complex system, the safety and success of the entire operation depend on the collective effort of everyone involved. This is especially true in industries like aviation, where the stakes are incredibly high. From the moment a plane is scheduled for takeoff to the moment it lands, countless individuals contribute to the overall success and safety of the flight. These individuals may not always be visible to the passengers, but their roles are essential. Pilots, cabin crew, ground crew, maintenance teams, and air traffic controllers all play vital parts in ensuring that everything runs smoothly. However, it is important to recognize that no single person can bear the entire responsibility for the safety of the flight. It is the collective effort of all those involved that makes air travel as safe as it is. The tragic crash of Air India Flight 171 highlights just how crucial it is for everyone to work together in harmony. The failure of one part of the system, whether it's a mechanical issue, a communication breakdown or human error, can have catastrophic consequences. Each member of the aviation team must perform their duties with the utmost care, attention to detail, and a shared sense of responsibility. The roles are distinct, but they are interconnected, and the effectiveness of each individual depends on how well they collaborate with the others. For instance, While the pilots are responsible for operating the aircraft, they rely on accurate weather reports, clear instructions from air traffic control, and the thorough preparation of the maintenance crews to ensure a safe flight. When we view responsibility as something that belongs to a single individual or part of the system, we risk losing sight of the bigger picture. In the case of aviation, this could lead to dangerous situations where one individual or team assumes another will handle certain aspects of safety, resulting in gaps in the system. The crash of Flight 171 serves as a reminder that each person must take ownership of their part in the operation, while also recognizing that their actions can impact the broader team. If one area of responsibility is neglected, even momentarily, the consequences can be dire. In this sense, collective responsibility goes beyond individual duties. It requires each member of the team to understand their role in the greater context and to be prepared to support and rely on one another. The importance of collective responsibility in aviation is not limited to the professionals directly involved in the flight. It extends to the regulatory bodies, maintenance providers, training institutions, and even the passengers themselves. Each component of the aviation ecosystem is interconnected, and each plays a part in ensuring that the entire system functions safely. Maintenance crews must ensure that the aircraft is in top condition, air traffic controllers must maintain clear communication, and pilots must execute their tasks with precision. However, even passengers have a responsibility to adhere to safety protocols and stay alert to any signs of potential issues. In the end, safety is a shared responsibility that transcends the actions of a few individuals and requires the full cooperation of everyone involved. This shared responsibility does not mean that every person must be directly involved in every aspect of the flight. Rather, it means that each person must perform their role to the best of their ability and take responsibility for their actions within the system. Flight may be a complex operation, but its success depends on the seamless coordination of all the different components. When people view their actions as part of a larger whole, they become more invested in ensuring that everything runs smoothly. This mindset encourages accountability and fosters a culture of safety and mutual support, where each individual feels a personal connection to the safety of the passengers and the success of the flight. One of the most important aspects of collective responsibility is the ability to communicate openly and effectively within the team. Clear communication ensures that everyone is aware of what is happening, what needs to be done, and how they can contribute to the overall goal. In aviation, this means that pilots must maintain open lines of communication with air traffic controllers, and maintenance teams must provide accurate and timely information to flight crews. Additionally, it means that each individual must be willing to speak up when something seems amiss, regardless of their position. Effective communication allows the team to address issues before they become problems, ensuring that the flight is as safe as possible. This is a critical component of collective responsibility, as it allows the system to function smoothly and adapt quickly when unexpected challenges arise. In conclusion, the crash of Air India Flight 171 serves as a tragic reminder of the importance of collective responsibility in ensuring the safety of aviation operations. The success of a flight is not determined by the actions of any single individual, but by the collective efforts of everyone involved. Whether it's the pilot, the maintenance crew, air traffic controllers, or even the passengers, each person plays a vital role in the overall safety and success of the flight. To prevent future tragedies, we must foster a culture of shared responsibility where everyone understands their role, communicates effectively, and works together to ensure that the system operates as safely as possible. Only through this collective effort can we hope to safeguard lives and ensure that air travel remains one of the safest modes of transportation. In aviation, safety is paramount, and every protocol is designed with one goal in mind: to ensure that the flight reaches its destination without incident. However, even with the most thorough preparations, there is always the possibility that something can go wrong. This is why constant vigilance is required. It's not enough to simply follow a checklist or complete a task once. Every moment of every flight demands the full attention of all involved. Pilots, air traffic controllers, maintenance crews, and ground staff must remain focused on the task at hand at all times. A lapse in concentration, no matter how brief, can lead to catastrophic outcomes. In this way, aviation serves as a model for the importance of maintaining awareness and attention, no matter how familiar or routine the situation may seem. The tragic crash of Air India Flight 171 is a stark reminder of how easily things can go wrong when vigilance is compromised. The failure to adhere to every safety protocol, no matter how small, can result in a disaster. This doesn't just apply to mechanical failures or environmental factors, but also to human error. In an industry as complex as aviation, where numerous variables must be accounted for, each person's actions are interconnected. If one individual becomes complacent or fails to spot a potential issue, it can have ripple effects that jeopardize the safety of everyone involved. This crash serves as a powerful illustration of the need to never let our guard down even when we feel we are in control or that things are going according to plan. Vigilance is not just a technical or professional requirement, it's a mindset that we should carry with us in every aspect of life. Whether in our personal relationships, our health, or our careers, constant vigilance is crucial. Relationships, for instance, require ongoing attention and effort. We cannot afford to take them for granted or assume that everything will continue smoothly without proactive care. Small gestures of kindness, understanding, and communication are the building blocks that sustain healthy relationships. If we allow ourselves to become complacent, to assume that our loved ones always know how we feel, or that everything is fine without checking in, we risk losing that connection. Just as in aviation, where each step is carefully monitored and maintained, we must apply the same level of attention to our relationships. In the same way, our health demands constant vigilance. It is easy to slip into unhealthy habits when we are not actively paying attention to what our bodies are telling us. Small signs of discomfort or stress can be ignored, leading to bigger problems down the road. Regular checkups, exercise, and mindful eating are all part of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The same level of attention that is given to ensuring a plane is well maintained must be applied to our own well-being. We cannot afford to take our health for granted, assuming that everything will be fine without consistent effort and awareness. Preventative measures like a regular health checkup or monitoring blood pressure can make a significant difference in catching potential issues before they become serious. Professional endeavors also require constant vigilance. Success in a career often depends on staying ahead of the curve, continuously learning and adapting to new challenges. It's easy to become complacent when we reach a level of comfort or recognition. However, those who remain vigilant, who continue to push their boundaries and seek new opportunities, are the ones who continue to thrive. This requires a commitment to lifelong learning, networking, and staying informed about industry changes. Just as in aviation, where pilots and crews regularly undergo training to ensure they are prepared for any situation. Professionals must invest time in their development to remain competitive and competent. Vigilance, however, is not about being paranoid or constantly in fear. It is about being proactive and aware, maintaining a balance between confidence in our abilities and humility in recognizing that things can change in an instant. Life, like aviation, is unpredictable, and being prepared for the unexpected is a critical part of staying safe and successful. We must learn to stay alert without becoming overwhelmed by stress or anxiety. It is about creating habits that foster ongoing attention to the important aspects of our lives, whether it is taking time to care for our health, nurturing relationships, or staying current in our careers. In conclusion, the crash of Air India Flight 171 serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of constant vigilance. In every aspect of life, whether it's personal, professional or physical, we must remain attentive and proactive. Complacency is a dangerous mindset that can lead to missed opportunities, deteriorating health or strained relationships. By maintaining a mindset of vigilance, we can anticipate challenges before they arise and ensure that we are fully prepared to handle whatever comes our way. Just as every step in aviation is carefully considered, so too should every step in life be approached with mindfulness and focus. Through vigilance, we can ensure that we navigate life safely and successfully, minimizing the risks and maximizing the rewards. The emotional toll of a tragedy like the crash of Air India Flight 171 can be overwhelming for those directly affected, but its impact often extends far beyond the immediate families of the victims. Grief is a natural response to loss, and it can manifest in many ways: sadness, anger, disbelief, and even guilt. These emotions are part of the process of coming to terms with the tragedy, but they are not easily navigated. For those who have lost loved ones, the journey through grief is a deeply personal and often isolating experience. It is important to recognize that there is no right way to grieve, and that each person's path to healing will be different. Healing from such a profound loss is never a quick or simple process. It is not something that can be rushed, nor is it something that can be fixed by well-meaning advice or platitudes. Instead, it requires time, patience and understanding. In the aftermath of tragedy, it is easy to feel like there is no way forward, no way to ease the pain that comes with such loss. However, healing is not about forgetting or moving on too quickly. It is about acknowledging the pain, honoring the memories of those who have passed, and slowly finding ways to rebuild one's life with their absence. Grief can also take on different forms depending on the relationship the individual had with the person who was lost. For a spouse, the grief might feel like a complete loss of identity or a disruption of their life's plans. For children, the loss of a parent can feel like a permanent rupture in their understanding of the world and their place in it. Siblings may experience a deep sense of loneliness and confusion as they try to understand how life can go on without someone they have always known. The most important thing during this time is to acknowledge the varying needs of those who are grieving and to offer support in ways that are sensitive to their individual circumstances. As difficult as it may be to face, Part of the healing process is learning to cope with the pain of loss in a healthy way. This may involve seeking professional help from grief counselors or therapists who specialize in helping people navigate complex emotions. Support groups where individuals who have experienced similar losses can come together and share their stories can also provide a sense of community and understanding. Talking about grief, acknowledging it, and expressing emotions are all integral parts of the healing process. Suppressing feelings or pretending everything is okay can lead to long-term emotional and physical health issues, making the healing journey even harder. At the same time, healing involves finding ways to preserve the memories of those who have passed while continuing to live in the present. It is essential for individuals to remember that healing does not mean erasing the pain or forgetting the person. Instead, it means integrating the loss into one's life in a way that allows the person to be remembered while also enabling the survivor to move forward. This can take many forms, from holding on to sentimental keepsakes to establishing new traditions in honor of the deceased. It's about finding balance between remembering and living and creating new meaning from what is lost. The emotional toll of grief can also impact one's physical health, and it is important to tend to both the emotional and physical aspects of recovery. Grief can manifest in physical symptoms like fatigue, sleep disturbances, headaches, and even a weakened immune system. Taking care of oneself during this time means finding ways to nourish the body as well as the mind. Eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep, and taking time to rest are all essential components of the healing process. By tending to both the emotional and physical well-being, individuals can begin to rebuild their strength and find a sense of stability in the midst of chaos. In the end, healing from such a profound loss is an ongoing process. There may be moments when the pain feels just as raw as it did in the beginning, and other times when there is a glimmer of hope and peace. What is most important is that we allow ourselves and others the space to grieve and heal at our own pace, without judgment or unrealistic expectations. As a community, it is crucial to offer unwavering support to those affected by tragedy, acknowledging the depth of their pain and standing with them as they work through their grief. Through compassion, understanding and time, healing can begin, even in the wake of the deepest sorrow. In conclusion, the crash of Air India Flight 171 is not just a tragic event. It is a powerful reminder of the fragility of life, the complexities of the systems we rely on, and the emotional toll such losses can leave behind. It compels us to reflect on the importance of vigilance, awareness, and collective responsibility in ensuring safety in every aspect of life. But perhaps most of all, it teaches us that in the face of such profound grief, healing is a journey that takes time, patience, and compassion. As we move forward, let us honor the lives that were lost, support those who are grieving, and commit ourselves to living with greater awareness and presence. Life is unpredictable, but in our shared humanity, we find the strength to heal, rebuild, and face each new day with hope.